Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. In this episode, we talk about gaining interest for CRM within the accounting team and making their value add for their own data and processes across the rest of the business. Basil also walks us through some examples of customers who have benefited from taking this approach. What's, in all your years working with CRM, what's been the way you found that lights up interest? Where do you start? Do you have a conversation about making reporting easier? Do you have a conversation about minimizing the amount of time collecting cash?
While the AR collections and the onboarding processes really appeal and resonate with the finance, the thing that really seals the deal is if you can show them that you can curate something that's not only user-friendly, but drives efficiency within the organization, that gets the attention almost immediately. That in and of itself can sell a Sage CRM deal to a Sage 100 customer, just because they're able to now see the overall value all in one place, and then the ability to quickly pivot roles within the CRM system. So if you're on a sales dashboard, you get everything that you need to enable you from a sales perspective. You can flip that to another dashboard, handle your AR collections. You can flip to another dashboard to handle your customer service, or you can have one that integrates all of them into one place to truly give you that 360-degree view of the customer.
So you're getting in one space a head-up display, if you like, with multiple views of the things that matter to you. Collection days, amount of money owed to you, whatever those measures are. But equally, you pivot, I'll use your word, you pivot and can look at something else in a fraction of a second, right? Rather than going another spreadsheet, another system.
Absolutely. From there, I mean, you're reducing the number of clicks, the number of systems or screens you have to have open at any given point in time. And it really does enable not only the finance role, but pretty much anyone from the front office operations connected to a financial role. You're enabling all of them at the same time. The more you can drive the efficiency or turn something that takes 5 minutes into 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes even, I mean, that's huge.
I think the other thing we're seeing a lot more of now with people having to make the pivot to working away from a central office, getting access to data simply and easily, it's got to be a thing now, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then because Sage CRM can be enabled in almost like a cloud type environment, you're able to pull all your data from Sage 100 into Sage CRM that is meaningful to your organization. And then from there, you have access to it directly within Sage CRM.
Thinking about your years of experience, I'm always interested in stories that help paint the picture for us. And you used the word or term of onboarding earlier. What's been one of the more ambitious or more interesting onboarding type projects you've delivered where someone has said, I could use CRM to do this in my company and this will change things? And have you got any great stories you could share with us?
I have two. One is with a roofing contracting company that began leveraging the sales process of Sage CRM to manage their bid process front to back. And then whenever they were done with that, they were able to kick out and generate documents based off of all the data that they've collected. They had such an extravagant process that we took them from maybe 30 minutes to create a document to 5. So that was a truly powerful implementation. And then the other one was a company based out of Chicago. They're a polymer manufacturer, basically surface refinishing, so bathtubs, sinks, so on and so forth. They wanted the ability to see their information from Sage 300 into Sage CRM, but then on top of that, identify whenever someone got out of their run rate, their run cycle. So if they started dipping in overall revenue, they were able to identify them proactively and reach out to identify, was there a disruption with business? Was there something going on? From there, they had an incredibly complex onboarding process with their refinishers that they sold their product to. You know, they wanted to send 4 or 5 documents out at the same time, but still be able to personalize that outreach based off of the conversation that they had. So they wanted to be able to streamline that onboarding process, but still have the ability to circle back to conversations that they had, talk about their kids, talk about their interests, talk about their hobbies, but still have the standard verbiage within the email that went to them that contained all this information. So it really kind of culminated into a well-rounded introduction onboarding email to that customer.
Sounded like to me you're describing automating what could be automated and should be automated, terms and conditions, standard verbiage, but also giving the operators the flexibility to personalize as they needed to.
And that's incredibly key to the success of an onboarding process like that, because if I feel like I'm getting something that's entirely automated, I'm completely turned off by that because I prefer personalization. I'll spend more money on something to have a personalized experience as opposed to having a cookie cutter email that I get that everyone else gets. So I just feel like another number. The ones that separate you out and make you feel like a person, that's where I'll take my business to as a consumer.
Do you see any changes in that direction or more of those changes in that direction? Are people recognizing that automation is great, but equally personalization is important?
Not only from the onboarding process, but the sales process as well. If you're able to tie in the discussions that you've had or identify pain points and then reference those again in the onboarding email or the introductory email or the quote that you send them, that is truly crucial in identifying what resonates with that customer. And they're more likely to buy from you at that point just because they feel like, somewhat of what I referenced a second ago, they feel like they matter to your organization. Automate where you can while allowing the personalization so that the culture that makes a company successful shines while still standardizing everything else that needs to be standardized.
That's a well-spoken summary. I want to loop you back to something else you mentioned at the top of that conversation, this idea about the cyclic nature of looking at transactions, because it sounded to me like you were thinking and delivering something that allows businesses to future forecast based on patterns of activity. Is that what you were talking about?
The product line spend, that is truly powerful because whenever you identify customers buying all of one thing but not another, that enables your salespeople to ask the question of, why are we not getting this business? Is it because you have such a deep relationship with another vendor? From there, what can we do to earn that business at that point? Is it a matter of pricing? Is it a matter of the quality of the product? What is it? From that information that they're gathering, they can bring that back not only to the sales leads, but also the AP clerk and the finance people to say, hey, we need to find a better solution because we're losing out on business because ours isn't meeting up the expectations of the customer.
And is your point there that because you have a richer data set to draw upon versus just a transactional account system?
CRM is so multifaceted. That's just one piece. And then whenever you're able to arm the salespeople with additional information, such as, are there any glaring customer service issues? Is this account overdue or past due by 90 days? Have they not paid their bill? If you're able to have that information, you won't get, sideswiped if you go on site as a salesperson just making a sales call. Service issues gone 30 days without a resolution. What's going on? You can walk in there and not be sideswiped by that. You can actually intelligibly speak to that particular concern that they might have.
Next time, Jeff Richards takes over the conversation and talks with Basil about his evolution with Sage CRM and how he brings different skill sets to bear on the combined implementation of CRM and accounts together. You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.